This summer, stay tuned for the first of a new thing for the Cinefanatics. It is going to be a full animated movie. Probably not. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tagline. We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And yeah, it is Wednesday night. It's time for the Tagline. We got a lot to talk about. Holy crap. Did no one in the movie industry actually realize that the Super Bowl or Super Bowl, big game, whatever, there was like a massive football game on this past Sunday that was going to have a lot to talk about just in regards to its commercials and trailers. And everyone decided to also just flood the movie news market with all their other things. Like, who's reading the room here in the movie studio land?
I'm confused by that statement.
Look at our show notes. How much news is on the show notes?
So much.
Exactly.
Very much news.
Yeah.
Many much news.
Many much news.
Okay. Many much newsin' for the newsers.
Nice. So real quick, YouTube things out of the way. You have something you want to say? Streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Pure and simple. You want to help support us? You think we're worthy of your support and you have the monetary means of supporting us? Patreon.com/cinefanatics. Speaking of which, right after Tagline tonight, soon after Tagline tonight, roughly, give it about 10 Central, so like
much soonish after Tagline.
8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. After this, if you are at least on the $5 due tier on our Patreon, we are doing our monthly watch along. We are going to be watching Guardians of the Galaxy. It is streaming on Disney Plus. So if you would like to join us, hop on that due tier and join us in our Discord. Yeah. So we will hopefully see you there after we're done here. Yeah. Anyways, that takes care of Patreon stuff.
Yeah.
Upcoming shows.
Yeah.
So announcement. Let's see. First of all, let's talk about, I don't have the thumbnail for this up, but we had the Cinefanatics podcast. New episode dropped yesterday. We're talking about rom-coms. It's, again, kind of like help supporting our marquee episode that's coming out this Friday. So go check out the podcast. Pretty much, again, almost everywhere you can get your audio podcasts, and there's also a video version right here on this channel. The marquee this Friday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. We had guests lined up. Unfortunately, circumstances are causing the guests to have to drop out. It's the week of the marquee, so we're not going to try to scramble around and try to find any backup guests and stuff. Just we got to keep it simple here.
Too much going on.
So it will be the two of us again. We will be tier ranking rom-com movies. So yes, that is this Friday.
It's
7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, the 17th.
It's the two of us and also the chat poll.
Oh, that's right. We're going to do a chat poll this time.
So you guys can have a say in your favorite rom-coms.
So join us for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I believe that's all we've got coming up right now.
Especially if both things fall on Valentine's Day week.
That's not going to be a normal trend every single podcast and marquee, so don't necessarily get used to that. It just so happened that that's how these last two podcasts have happened. So
it'll happen every now and then.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's see who all is here.
I'm here.
Well, obviously you're here, jackass. I see we've definitely have Garth in the chat, and we got Commentatoring Nerd. Thank y'all, gentlemen, for being here as we get started. Anyone else here, sound off in the chat, let us know. If you are watching this on a replay, we do like doing this live. We do like interacting with the chat every once in a while. So if you are available while we go live, it's roughly around this time every Wednesday night. Come join us live. Hello, AJ Lancaster. Sup, Adams?
I'm very sad and confused right now as to why I'm a jackass for simply existing.
Because I asked who all was here, like in the chat, and you're like, well, I'm here. Well, no shit. You're on the screen hosting the show with me.
Good improv.
It's supposed to yes and not no, you dumb bastard.
Yeah. Yes, and not shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Anyways, other thing. I turn around and I look back at the toy that's behind me, and that reminded me. Tomorrow we will be seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so do expect a review for that. It will probably be later tomorrow evening when we get that review up, so just keep an eye out on that. It'll be spoiler free, so don't worry about spoilers on that because we're not going to do them. But yeah, I see Mr. Mike Deacon in the chat. Hello, sir. Thank you for checking us out. I know y'all got a show to do tonight as well, so thank y'all for stopping by. Anyways, what movies have you watched, Chris?
Bunch of rom-coms that I'll talk about this Friday on the marquee.
Oh, okay.
And one that I won't be talking about this Friday on the marquee because it was a guest pick, and we're not going to be ranking that one anymore.
Okay. Nice to know. I was gonna say, I'm looking at my list of movies that I've watched for like the first time over the past week. Also, because we're doing a marquee, there's a nice list of rom-coms, and then Frankenhooker.
That's not rom-com?
Sort of.
I feel like that sounds like a movie that could star Ryan Reynolds and whoever the hot commodity is on the lady side of the hour.
Yeah. So I'll talk about that one briefly. For those of y'all who don't know what Frankenhooker is, first of all, it's a delightful movie. I highly doubt that.
Sure, take your word for it.
It is a movie that's made by Frank Henenlotter. He was the same director, if y'all are familiar with the horror movie Basket Case. Same director. Anyways, it is the same kind of weirdness, like a little bit of body horror in there. Ryan Reynolds and Jenna Ortega.
This, except the age difference. Yeah.
Yeah, Garth's like, where's Lego? Yeah, because Lego would be like, I know that movie.
I've watched it 5 times.
So
I have a poster of it in my bedroom.
Possibly. It's actually a really weird poster, but anyways, that was like outside of like the rom-coms, that's the only other new movie I watched. So if you like Frank Henenlotter or Off the Wall, it's not even a horror movie, it's just off the wall dark comedy. Check it out. It was interesting.
If you like Frankenstein and you like hookers,
this movie's right up your alley. That's like saying the recommendation for that movie Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. Like, if you like eating and you like bed, this is the movie for you.
If you have a fondness of death and of bed,
then I recommend Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. And yes, that is actually a real movie. It is terrible, but it is hilarious. Like, it's one of those you want to turn it off after like the first like 5 minutes, but you're like, no, I want to see how much of a disaster this movie's going to continue being.
No, because if Frankenhooker was the name of the scientist, then the monster would be Frankenhooker's monster, which would technically actually make Frankenhooker a pimp, right? That's how that works.
Actually, the lead guy's last name is Franken. Like, his last name is Franken.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Anyways. That's it pretty much for movies watched over this past week. Let's get into movie news because there is a shit ton of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
It's box office time, everybody. Yay.
Yay, box office time.
Avatar is number one. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's not number one again. No, but you would have believed it. You would have believed. You know, you would. I would have got. I almost got some of you. I know you would have believed it because it's number 2. Number 1. Can we guess what number 1 is? Consider that number 1 last week was Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, so I would guess Knock at the Cabin again.
That's a stupid guess.
Oh, then I would guess. Well, it can't be. What other new movies came out this past week? Was it like I think there was that Magic Mike movie that came out, and that's it. Like that can't be number one over Knock at the Cabin and Avatar and Titanic in theaters again. It's Magic Mike, isn't it?
Want to make a bet?
No, I don't.
It's Magic Mike's Last Dance, which, dangerous title because who knows? They might want to make a fourth one of those. Magic Mike's Last Dance got 8.3 million in the box office. A kind of a slow week this week in the box office, it seems. With number 2 being Avatar, bumping back up from that number 3 spot with 7.2 million, a 36% drop off from last week, which is crazy considering it's at number 2. But there you go. Number 3. The James Cameron train just keeps on rolling. Titanic got a re-release and hit number 3 this weekend with 6.7 million.
I love that. Heard from James Cameron this weekend is because he's like laying on his couch right now, not doing a damn thing. Yeah, he's just counting his money, lighting his cigars with $100 bills.
His cigars are made of $100 bills.
Yeah, rolled in that.
And this might lead you all to ask the very important question. What the heck, Chris? I thought 80 for Brady was number 2 last week. Where is it at? It's at number 4. I know everyone's asking. Everyone cares about where 80 for Brady is going in this top 10.
I know I was.
Honestly, I'm half tempted to make another video intro for let's watch what happens with 80 for Brady. We got to keep our eyes on the ball here. It's at number 4. It fell like over 50%. This might actually be a very short segment. I don't think 80 for Brady is going to last in the top 10 that long.
Yeah. How about my hair looks good when I make it in the mirror, but it looks terrible on camera? Whatever.
Who asked? Number 5 is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Number 6 is Knock at the Cabin, falling from number 1. M. Night Shyamalan is doing M. Night Shyamalan things.
Ooh, that's a drop.
That's a fall. That's a huge drop. It's only been out 2 weeks. Number 7 is A Man Called Otto. Number 8, still from number 8 last week, Missing. The movie's hanging in there for no one knowing that it was coming out or that it was technically a sequel of a prior movie.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Number 9 is Mithrigan. And then number 10 is a little known movie that Rose actually won spot. Plane.
Oh yeah,
it's a plane movie.
I saw that Infinity Pool is now available like on video on demand digitally. So I kind of hope to watch that. I know I got to catch up on a couple more rom-coms before the marquee on Friday, but I'm hoping to watch Infinity Pool right after that.
Yeah. So Infinity Pool, you can't hope for much on that movie in the box office. It's been out, 3 weeks it looks like, and it's already down to number 19. So
it's got to be more than 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, not counting like preview screenings and smaller distribution in LA and New York.
I just feel like I've been hearing about it for at least a month and a half or so.
It's been out wide for 3 weeks.
Weird. Let's take a guess as what's going to be number 1 in the box office next Wednesday.
I hope it's Titanic again.
Oh, it'll be something Titanic, but it's not going to be a ship or a plane.
It'll be Kang.
So again, we're going to go see that tomorrow night. We'll have a review up later tomorrow evening. So
MODOK the movie.
I'm excited. Movie, starring Corey Stoll. I like that even so far, I have not seen anywhere anyone actually confirming that it is Corey Stoll as MODOK. I have heard people saying that the way that they did MODOK's face is really weird. Like they just took whatever actor it is. It's probably Corey Stoll.
It's Corey Stoll.
Whatever. I bet it's Corey Stoll. But what they're saying is they took it and they just smashed it down to this little head thing. So that's why the face looks a little weird. It looks a little off. So I feel like I'm a little bit justified in the fact that it doesn't.
You know what?
Corey Stoll apparently.
Your face looks a little weird and a little off.
I mean, it's possible.
Barbie time! That's the wrong one. What the heck?
That is a flat. Oh, poor Garth.
There's a little throwback there just for Garth. I totally did that on purpose.
Garth's gonna yell at you during our watch along after this. Our Patreon watch along. If you're at the $5 tier, you can join us after the tagline tonight and watch Guardians of the Galaxy with us.
He's paying on the Patreon to yell at me. You know.
Yeah.
He wasn't quick enough on the mute either. I got him. All right. So here's a great thing about Barbie news, guys, is that apparently, according to
Barbie the Quartering.
No, we don't mention that YouTube channel. According to small publications, don't worry about it. According to small publications, there was a preview screening. I don't know how true this is. I literally tried my hardest to verify, like, hey, can I get an official source saying that this preview screening actually happened? Because as of right now, I only see like some minor websites that I've literally never seen before in my life talking about it.
Was this a screening in LA?
No, it was in New Jersey.
Was it in New York?
It was in New Jersey.
I'm about to knock over my microphone. Why?
He's so flabbergasted.
Why? New Jersey.
I don't know, but it's making for a fun Barbie watch story. Let's do it.
You know what? If you want a true unbiased opinion of Barbie, you know where you get those opinions at? Jersey.
So here's the apparent preview screen that happened in Jersey. It may or may not have happened. Take it with a grain of salt. If it did, great, because there's some great things, some great comments and reviews coming out of this. Some minor reviews. You can't do a full review. It's just a test screening. However, let me read some of these reviews real quick. I saw Barbie, loved it. Gonna be a massive movie. Fiercely feminist and volcanically hysterical. I've never heard volcanically used.
What is volcanic? There's nothing more hysterical than falling in a volcano. Like just a volcano. Hey, what's going on? Look, a volcano. That's hilarious.
Laughter was erupting from me. So flashy and bright, will win Oscars for costume and design. They're delicious.
The costumes are edible.
The costume and design, yeah, it's like fruit roll-ups. So let's see. It deconstructs the feminist iconography of Barbie and recontextualizes her for a new generation. Creates strong commentary and juxtaposition. Since this is Gerwig, there's a big heart at the center. Margot plays Barbie with a Valley accent, interest and agency as she questions her position in Barbie Land and clashes with Ken about patriarchy.
This sounds exactly like what I'm wanting out of a Barbie movie. I want to hear about the patriarchy.
I mean, look, it's Greta Gerwig. It's Barbie's a feminist icon. Look, you're going to hear about it. It's a thing. Gosling is outstanding as Ken, perhaps his best performance. He's a huge scene stealer and gets to sing and dance. He will probably get Oscar nominated. Will Ferrell hasn't been this funny in years. He plays a shallow and performative CEO of Mattel. Other standouts include Rhea Perlman and Michael Cera.
Did we even know they were in this movie?
I knew Michael Cera was. I did not know. I did not think about or realize that Rhea Perlman was in it.
Okay.
Some people say it's one of the best studio films in years and easily best studio comedy in even longer. An absolute delight that will be an obsessive favorite. Greta elevated her game. Visually, it's iconic. The costumes pop off the screen and the sets appropriately feel toy-esque and animated. Every performance is on the same wavelength and delivers on the camp. Gosling is MVP and has never been better. His performance will be memed to death. A lot of stuff. They're saying it's definitely going to be PG-13. There will be sexual jokes and swearing. A lot of things that we kind of generally already figured would be happening in this movie. Some people are hoping that Barbie drops an F-bomb. It's PG-13. It's possible. I just don't know. If they will or not. Either way, looks like a lot of interesting stuff. They say it apparently isn't just a fish out of water narrative, but actually deals with complex notions around what it means to be alive, to be a woman, to be human and imperfect, especially for Barbie, who starts thinking about death. Oh, and apparently Ken has an existential crisis on what his purpose is, if not to worship Barbie.
I'm having an existential crisis as to why New Jersey is the one doing the reviews for this. Well, there's your review for Barbie, the movie, straight from New Jersey.
I don't know. Look, some of these things sound too generic to be true to me.
Well, my New Jersey sounded like Boston for a second there.
Yeah. And then also, look, I actually believe that there's test. It's about the time right now where a test screening should probably be showing, just because they want to make sure everything's playing right, so they have time for reshoots if they need to do any, and all that sort of stuff. So this is about the time when you actually do a test screening. So I actually kind of do believe that there was a test screening. It's just New Jersey is such a weird pick. I don't know why you would do that over LA or New York, especially since a lot of the movies filmed in LA.
Probably because you get a lot of too many people in the film industry in LA and New York, even here in Austin. You probably have too many people that they have too close of ties, and you might not get a truthful opinion out of it. So they just go like some random place. Like they could have done like Kentucky or Missouri or something like that as well, but
nothing like that preview screening of Barbie located scenically in South Dakota.
Yeah.
We mean no harm or insult to the people of South Dakota who may be watching us right now. We don't have any viewers from South Dakota. Anyway, the thing is that
y'all are better than the North Dakotas.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get us canceled over here?
I want to see a war start up between North and South Dakota.
Yeah.
Something to happen up there.
Some of these sound like embargo violating. I don't think there was an embargo on the test screening because it says that there are some more spoilerific reviews that were not publicized because they were too spoilerific. So I don't know.
So press and test screenings are usually what happens with those is after the movie's over, you usually write down your thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and you submit those into whoever's running that screening. Typically, like at a test screen like this, it's probably actually being ran by someone from the studio. So very likely these comments are going straight to the studio, and then the studio is just thumbing through it, and they'll publicly release from themselves what was said about their movie instead of random people just to post.
This could also explain why some of these comments are a little generic or vague sounding, is because it's the test screening, so the movie's not completed yet, and two, they're not going to be hyper detailed on anything just quite yet. So
I'm almost willing to bet everyone in a test screening probably has to sign an NDA as well. So they're not allowed to talk about it except on that piece of paper that they give at the end of the screening. So
yeah, it's just, I find it interesting that I'm only seeing this on like minor publications, which is what is making me question it. But either way, fun stuff. We should be hearing more and more about Barbie coming up here pretty soon. We should probably expect a second trailer at any point within like the next month or so, I would believe. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's been your Barbie watch, guys. Good stuff.
We got Guessing Jesse from Flick and Reel saying Hedwig is a superb owl. I'm a huge fan of Bubo, and I'm actually apparently the only one.
Yeah,
I love Bubo from the original Clash of the Titans. I can't remember if they mention. I think they show Bubo like as a statue in the remake, but
I'm a
Yeah.
fan of Hoot Hoot, Knocked Owl, and Decidueye.
Are they all Pokemon? Yeah, figures. I actually want, and I keep forgetting about this. This is 2 years now. It came to my attention too late. But every year, I keep hearing, since everyone refers to the big game as the Superb Owl, I keep wanting to buy. There's like a foot tall Bubo like statue figure, whatever. I want to buy that and have that like something that sits in the background while we're doing like the trailer reactions or something. So
for those who don't know, Bubo's from Clash of the Titans.
that's what I said.
You said that?
Yes.
I'm just reiterating it.
Yeah. The original Clash of the Titans.
Really want to drive that home.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Bubo in the remake?
Didn't I just say all of this?
I don't know. Did you?
Am I taking crazy pills tonight? I mean,
Yes, you are. No, but there wasn't one in the new one?
that's what I said. I believe there was like a statue that references
Right.
Bubo from
Oh,
the
that's right.
original. But
That's
not
right.
not an actual. I don't think there was an actual living Bubo in the remake.
I do remember seeing that statue in that movie.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I don't remember much from that movie. I also remember so little that I don't even remember what you said seconds before I asked the question. So that's where I'm at with Clash of the Titans.
Where'd Bubo come from?
Anyway.
We don't have enough time to be making Bubo jokes. We got to move on.
Did y'all know that Bubo's from Clash of the Titans?
Oh, shut up. Anyways, because of the elongated Bubo discussion that we just had, I now have to take the next couple of news articles that we were going to talk about, and these are going to be shortened down to what we like to call quickies.
Quickies with elongated Bubos. All right.
Elongated Bubos. Bubo's not lasting on these. There's a fourth Riddick movie coming called Furia.
Why?
Furia. It's reuniting director David Twohy and Vin Diesel. So if you're a big fan of Pitch Black and the Riddick series, there's another Riddick movie coming.
I need to watch those.
I have not. I've seen Pitch Black, which I wasn't like a huge fan of. I don't think I've watched anything else Riddick related. So
those movies are a major gap in my film watching, and by major I mean I just haven't seen those movies.
Yeah. Speaking of Plane, as we were talking about earlier, there's a sequel coming out called Ship.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong because Plane is a fantastic name for a movie, but the sequel should have been Train, and then the third one should be Automobile, and Steve Martin should pop up somewhere.
So the trilogy is called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Nope, Plane, Train, and Automobile.
Plane, Train, and Automobile.
It's not plural. It's just one of each.
It's the trilogy that everyone will watch every year for Thanksgiving. So, other news: Paddington director Paul Keane is directing the Fred Astaire biopic that stars Tom Holland. So, yeah, I feel like that might be good as far as getting like that comfort feeling, that throwback, that relaxing, that just pure entertainment. He's got that down doing the Paddington movies. I believe he's also doing Paddington 3, so I don't know when this is going to squish in.
One hopes.
Yeah. I mean, the first two Paddington movies are so delightful. I would hate to ruin what they've got going on by changing out the director all of a sudden. So
this is also interesting because there's another Fred Astaire, I guess, biopic-ish movie also coming out from the producers of La La Land, also starring Jamie Bell as Fred Astaire and Margaret Qualley as Ginger Rogers.
Interesting.
It's called Fred and Ginger. So here's the thing. I like Tom Holland, I do, but I'm kind of more interested in the Jamie Bell as Fred Astaire, just because I think Jamie Bell looks more like Fred Astaire.
But I think I'm going to enjoy Tom Holland's better. Cinefanatic Civil War. No. I'm looking more forward to just Tom Holland, especially now that they've got the Paddington director involved in it. What I hate, though, I wish the studios would cooperate and stop this, but the releasing of two movies about like basically the same subject at the same time. I mean, this goes all the way back to like the 90s, if not further back than that, but only ones I recollect, like Armageddon and Deep Impact came out at the same time. There was Volcano and Dante's Peak. So
Friends with Benefits and No String Attached. No strings attached.
Jobs and Steve Jobs. So
Also starring Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, all these have Ashton Kutcher in it. Why?
Butterfly Effect, and I don't know where I was going with that.
The tagline "Ship happens."
Perfect.
That's good. That actually probably will be the tagline for that.
A plane movie. Ship happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, he's no longer doing Paddington 3. Oh, that sucks. Never mind. I don't want to watch this Fred Astaire movie. I'd rather watch the Jamie Bell one. Go back and do Paddington. Give me my third outing with the bear and marmalade.
I don't want anything else from you but third Paddington. You can do whatever movie you want after you do third Paddington. No other movie for you but third Paddington.
Your movie better be fourth Paddington, followed by fifth Paddington. I'll just do Avatar just with Paddington. So there might not even be one. Nerd, no negativity in the chat.
We keep hope alive. Paddington will get a third movie at some point. It just might not be right now.
Oh, that's right. Paul King was doing Wonka, isn't he?
Yes, I'm so glad that he's doing Wonka instead of Paddington 3.
Oh, yeah. Anyways,
I haven't seen a trailer for that yet. But,
it was announced. Oh, yeah. Okay, so speaking of trailers, apparently this week is Wick Week. It is John Wick Week. We've already gotten like some posters, which I meant to grab at least the poster of Scott Adkins that was released, I think, yesterday, because everyone, all I see online is everyone like, that's Scott Adkins. If you're not familiar, Scott Adkins is usually he's a stunt performer. He usually does stunt doubling in movies. Sometimes he'll play like a small role of someone that needs to fight. And probably what most people would probably be familiar with him is he played essentially Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, when the camera wasn't close up on the face where we absolutely needed to see that it was Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. So basically anytime they showed him with the mouth covered, that was Scott Adkins fighting in that movie.
He was also in Doctor Strange. He was one of the, he was
one of Silas's.
Yeah. One of those guys.
Anyway, so apparently like in John Wick 4, they have him, he looks pretty well padded. I wouldn't necessarily say he's in a fat suit, but they got him bulked up, kind of like Colin Farrell as Penguin in the Batman. A very Penguin-esque look to him. He's sitting at a desk. He looks like he might be like a crime boss, but since it's Scott Adkins, I'm expecting him to probably get up and probably fight, and he's going to be fighting probably pretty well. Kind of thinking
throw some hands.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of Kingpin in that, or at least Kingpin in the comics, not necessarily in the movie or the TV shows, because he's not
physical
as
force
agile.
to be reckoned with. Yeah,
he's not as agile in those as he was in the comics, but yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, with it being Wick Week, the other thing is that they're releasing another trailer for John Wick 4 tomorrow. We should be able to get to that. Just depends on when that trailer drops, how quickly we can get to it. I know there was a trailer for Creed 3 that was dropped today, and we haven't been able to get to it.
There's a lot going on today too.
Yeah,
I get a lot of appointments for a lot of things that I'm doing.
Yeah. So I know we're going to try to get to it tomorrow. We'll see how quickly we can get it up. So, but it was announced that John Wick 4 is going to be the longest in the series at 169 minutes long, which comes out to 2 hours and 49 minutes. Good Lord, that's a long movie. But if it's all like action the whole time, should fly by pretty well. John Wick movies are usually like pretty easy to follow. They're a lot of fun. They're
well paced
pieces. Yeah.
They're very well paced.
You got like Donnie Yen is in this. I feel like it's going to keep people's attention very well, especially if you're already a fan of the John Wick franchise. So, last piece of news real quick. It was announced, I think, was this announced today? That
yes, it was mentioned today.
Not to let Disney have all the fun, apparently DreamWorks is now hopping on the train of taking their much beloved animated classics and making live action movies out of them. There will be a live action version of How to Train Your Dragon.
Nobody asked for this.
I don't think anyone wants this. Much like Paddington, the How to Train Your Dragon movies have a very like dedicated, loving fan base. And the thing with that, I'm wondering is, essentially that means they're going to keep like the dragons looking exactly the same because they're still going to be CGI. So like, is Toothless going to look exactly like how he looks in the cartoons? I would assume so. So why do this?
Because money.
Oh, that's right. Money. Everyone loves money. That's right.
Money, please. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So unlike Riddick, I will actually state that these are movies that I do actually have a gap on right now. I have not watched the How to Train Your Dragon movies yet. Everybody loves them. So they are movies that are going to be on the list to watch at some point when my movie watching schedule is freed up, because good Lord, I have so much I need to catch up on between now and Oscar time. And we've got another marquee coming up right after freaking this one this week. And yeah, they're on the list. Yeah, Riddick is not.
Anyways, so that's it for the quickies. What else came out yesterday? We got our first image, and I need to pull this up real quick.
Oh, we're on the ball here.
Yep. Yesterday, for Valentine's Day, we were blessed by the mother monster herself. Lady Gaga dropped an image of her and Joaquin Phoenix from Joker Folie à Deux yesterday for Valentine's Day, which makes sense. I mean, I don't think it's actually 100% been officially confirmed that she's playing Harley Quinn, but I mean, she's playing Harley Quinn.
She's playing Harley Quinn.
Yeah. So we got this first image, was essentially the first image of her as Harley Quinn, even though there's nothing really in this image that indicates that she actually is Harley Quinn. We just have to go with it.
I could have sworn that it was like stated that she was Harley Quinn.
I can't remember if that was 100%
flat out was
confirmed or not.
stated.
I think that's one of those that like people just believe that she's playing Harley Quinn, and everyone's like, yeah, she's playing Harley Quinn. Much like everyone's like, Corey Stoll's playing MODOK.
When they announced it, did they literally just say that she was like, yeah, I'm going to be in the next Joker movie? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, she's Harley Quinn. And then that was it?
Yeah, basically. I think that's how that went down. And just no one has been like, well, she's not playing Harley Quinn.
That's crazy. I could have sworn the announcement was like, yep, I'm going to be playing Dr. Harleen Quinzel in the next Joker movie. She's playing Harley Quinn, guys. She's playing Harley Quinn, and Corey Stoll is MODOK.
So, anyways, we got that first image, which was cool. I'm actually looking forward to more of I want to see exactly how they're going to adapt her. The other thing I am wanting to see is I'm kind of hoping, it doesn't look like we really get it in this image. This image, Joker is still kind of the same makeup that he had in the first Joker movie. I'm wanting to see this Joker movie transition into him having the very recognizable normal Joker makeup.
Maybe.
That's one of the things I think I don't like about the first Joker movie is they changed up his makeup. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I do want to see green hair, white face, red lips with a smile. But the blue triangles, the red on the nose, no. Get rid of that.
I'm very curious as to what this universe looks like if they're not actually going to introduce a Batman into it.
That's the other thing, too, is how we don't have any information about this. Like, how long has this been going on now? How far is this since the first movie? is Batman going to be involved? I'm almost going to guarantee that at least Bruce Wayne will be involved in this in some form or fashion because of how the end of the first one. So Bruce Wayne, Alfred will probably have some kind of a pop-up somewhere in this movie as well, hopefully singing a song since this movie's a musical, because that would just be hilarious to see a young Bruce Wayne singing.
Who am I? Who am I?
Didn't they do that? Didn't they do that in the Lego Batman movie? He started singing a song.
Probably. Who am I?
Yeah. So that would be hilarious. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm eager to see more. I want to see him as the actual Joker, and I'm curious to see how she's going to look up in full makeup and costume as Harley Quinn. So
she's gonna be a good Harley Quinn.
I think so too.
Especially for the type of movie that Joker is, the kind of Harley Quinn they're probably going to pull in that movie. She's going to be perfect for.
Yeah. Moving on. Today we also got dropped this 30-second teaser for the live action Little Mermaid. Apparently it's only 30 seconds long, and it's got a lot of really good punchy shots real quick. So obviously this was supposed to be the 30-second commercial that they were going to show during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Disney, I guess I'm really going to guess at the last minute, decided they just did not want to actually spend the $7 million on this 30-second slot. Mm-hmm. And so they just released it as a part of their Disney 100 celebration today.
Which is hilarious because if you think about it, Disney can pretty much release whatever they want whenever they want, and people will see it because it's Disney. Unless, of course, it's a trailer for Strange World, and then they'll release the movie and no one will know it's out.
Yeah. The problem that I see with a lot of people talking about it, and again, they release another little snippet preview. What's funny is I'm not seeing so many people, and I know there are people, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm not seeing so many people complaining about Halle Bailey as Ariel for this one. I'm not seeing the more of this is not my Ariel kind of comments.
Did they get it all out of their system?
I guess, but I'm seeing more people like this. There's no bubbles. It doesn't look like it's under the sea. And I think what the problem is because of how blessed we were with the exquisite look of the CGI of Avatar: The Way of Water, that any other movie that takes place underwater just pales in comparison now. And I think Disney, for the most part, is shooting themselves in the foot with this. They need to do a nice little Passover where everything just reestablished that we are under the water.
Yes, but also in the same vein, suck it, Aquaman 2.
Oh yeah, good luck, Aquaman 2.
Here's the thing.
Rude.
I liked it. I liked what I saw. The only thing I'm really worried about right now is if we will in fact. Well, and we are supposed to be getting Flounder, right? Wasn't Jacob Tremblay voicing him or something?
Jacob Tremblay's voicing Flounder, yes. We didn't get a full clear. Apparently, there's some other image of Flounder that's floundering around online.
Wow.
That looks a little weird. We haven't gotten an image of Sebastian or Triton yet.
So this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that we will lack Sebastian in this like we lacked Mushu in the Mulan movie. We got to have Sebastian, right? Sebastian's got to be there.
Yeah, because who else is going to be singing Under the Sea?
Or Kiss the Girl.
I mean, we know that scene is in there because we got a quick glimpse of her and Prince Eric leaning in for the kiss during that moment. They were in the marsh and under the blue lagoon or whatever.
Also, Homeboy looked like Prince Eric.
Yeah. He looks good as Prince Eric.
Yeah.
And then the whole 30-second ad ends with, of course, the nice little tease of Ursula. We see her tentacle and the top of her face poking up over it. Already, this gives us the indication that the makeup looks pretty faithful to how Ursula looked in the cartoon.
She gave us a nice little cackle there too, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are like, I can't stand Melissa McCarthy. I think Melissa McCarthy cast as Ursula is fantastic casting.
I have hopes. I initially was like kind of like I don't know about this, but I have hopes. Seeing the little bit that they showed there, I was like, okay, I can kind of see the direction they want to go with this, and I think there's a chance that they can pull off Ursula, and she can pull off Ursula, and it's gonna work out well.
Yeah.
I have hopes for this movie. They're like probably Aladdin levels of equal in terms of like I did like the Aladdin movie. I know you didn't like it as much. My hopes are higher than Lion King, probably around Aladdin, which is about as high as they probably could be for a Disney live action remake at this point.
I don't know if my hopes are high anymore. I feel like the last time I really got my hopes high was for Mulan. And Mulan wasn't completely bad, but it didn't. I don't feel like it lived up to its own hype.
Mulan lacked so a lot of times they do retain some of the magic of the animated versions in some way, some form or fashion. Like even the Lion King somewhat had it with the cartoonish voices coming out of the animals, maybe not in the emotions or lack thereof, but a lot of times these live action remakes
died. Oh no.
A lot of times these live action remakes still maintain some level of the magic of the original. Mulan, I don't think did. Mulan was a good movie, but I don't think it had the magic of the animated one. I think a lot of that was taken out with like Mushu and what Mushu represented for that film too.
If the animated Mulan had not come out, the live action Mulan probably would have been better. So
yeah,
it's because everyone had that animated classic to fall back onto. And that's going to be the same thing we're going to have with Little Mermaid, which again is why my hopes aren't necessarily that high up there. Plus,
I hope they do enough different with it that really kind of shakes it up a little bit.
Plus, I'll add to it. I don't know a single thing about Halle Bailey. I have no idea if she's actually going to make a good Ariel or not. We got a much better look at her as Ariel in this 30-second clip, and she looks good.
Yeah, she doesn't look bad.
I understand a lot of people's complaints that it's a black girl playing Ariel. Sure, I get that.
Whatever.
She looks good for playing Ariel. I think that the look that they gave her works.
She gives me Ariel vibes.
Yeah, but I don't know who she is. I know she's in like a band with her sister, I believe, and that's it.
Maybe one thing
Disney Channel show at some point, I think. But
the one thing I know for sure about Halle Bailey is that I have to pause every time I say her name to make sure I'm not saying Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Yeah. Yeah. Heaven help us if the two of those are in the movie together. Because first of all, whatever studio does that, stop it. No. Knock it off.
Mother-daughter.
Oh God. Anyways. The thing though is this movie comes out in May, and we're halfway through February now. We should really be getting like a full 2-minute long trailer by now. We should be getting glimpses of Triton, Sebastian, Flounder, Ursula. We should be seeing all of them at about this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I would expect the full trailer to come out probably next month.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be coming out soon. So kind of weird that Disney did not put this during the Super Bowl, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, before we dive into talking about those trailers that played during that big game, I feel like we have a fun little thing going on here. Quick off the heels of James Gunn making his announcements of what he plans to do with the DCU, we have Kevin Feige coming in with his plans. So therefore, we must bring up, hey, it's the Feige family updates. Forget about it. Kevin Feige got some updates for you.
Hey!
Again. So just listen up, okay? You'll be okay. Don't worry about it.
You got family traitor James Gunn over here switching sides like a like a schmugging off over here like he is. Hey, that's not allowed. Forget about your DC. We got Marvel. Let's say
Feige's gonna send a horse head and put it in James Gunn's bed. I'm willing to bet. It'll be a toy head, and James Gunn's gonna like look at it and go, "Huh, that's funny." He'll call up Feige and go, "You idiot!" But
jackass.
It'll be a lot of fun. So real quick, because there's not really much to expand upon with this, but
Expound?
yeah, some combination of letters that form words. But I mean, most all this is kind of self-referential or self-explanatory. He's planning on spacing out the Disney Plus shows, saying that there's like too much going on in too short a time. So he wants to like space them out, let them breathe, give people more time to enjoy them, because that's what She-Hulk was severely lacking, was people needing time to let that show breathe.
Expunge means to erase or remove completely. Something unwanted or unpleasant.
Yeah, like this moment right now.
Hey, forget about it.
Anyway, so yeah, he wants to he wants to space out the Disney Plus shows, give them, make them weigh a little bit more instead of like, well, that show's over. When's the next one coming out? Which is why we haven't actually heard when the next one's coming out. We know, like, I guess it's got to be Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, yeah.
Secret Invasion, or What If Season 2 is supposed to also be coming out roughly around the same time. I don't expect that to be happening now.
Well, so Secret Invasion has to come out before the Marvels.
Yes.
So I imagine that we will hear very shortly, them kind of pushing forward on promoting that and getting that out. I mean, we've already gotten a couple glimpses and sneak previews of it. So yeah, that one should be hitting our Disney Plus servers here pretty soon.
There's also a potential that we may not actually get the trailer for the Marvels until Secret Invasion comes out first. Because there might be stuff that even the trailer would show that kind of disrupt like how Secret Invasion would play out.
Which is weird because the Marvels was also supposed to, or was at least rumored to possibly have a big game spot as well, and it didn't.
Yeah. So does that still exist, and how? It is saying that, like, he did also confirm that the Marvels and Secret Invasion are essentially the sequels to Captain Marvel. So there's not going to be just a set Captain Marvel 2. The sequel is Secret Invasion and the Marvels. So
I love this.
We kind of already knew.
I love this too because, like, back when we were first starting to hear about Disney Plus shows, people were asking, hey, will folks need to actually watch these shows in order to know what's going on in the movies? And Feige was like, no, it's supplemental material. You can just watch the movies and be fine. We're not going to essentially force people to get a Disney Plus subscription if they want to keep up with the storyline.
Yep. Which moves on to the next thing he said is that they're looking at making the shows more self-contained and episodic. Meaning that you can just watch the show without necessarily needing to lean on other parts of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is kind of like what I've been hearing also in regards to reviews for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, is you don't necessarily need to have seen Loki, the first season of Loki, to understand what's going on. There is a brief part apparently in it where Kang is talking about who he is and where he comes from. And from what I've heard, what I've seen, a lot of people are saying like it helps you as far as like a person, a viewer, understanding it if you have seen at least that final episode of Loki.
Right.
It helps you better understand what all Kang is actually about and what he's going to do, but you don't absolutely have to see that to understand Quantumania.
It's just one of those situations where you're rewarded if you did, but you're not missing out on story if you don't.
Yeah, and I think that something like that is probably more of like what Kevin Feige's talking about is like, yeah, you're still rewarded if you watch these. If you're a completist and you're watching every bit of content we put out, including the little Groot shorts.
But the thing is, if you don't watch WandaVision, how much of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness made sense to you?
None of it. Yeah, you had to have watched WandaVision to understand Wanda's...
Where'd she get kids all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, moving on, he also has confirmed that Harrison Ford is General Thunderbolt Ross, who will be the President of the United States in Captain America: New World Order.
That's absolutely insane that Ross makes it to the presidency, considering the events of Incredible Hulk
and Civil War.
Civil War is fine. Incredible Hulk is the one that I'm more focused on, because it was his fault that Abomination essentially existed to begin with.
Yeah. I'm guessing they just yada-yada their way out of explaining him having any kind of responsibility for that.
Why should the American people trust this man? Isn't he the one that sent a big rage monster storming through Harlem?
Yeah. Also, I guess, very likely involving Ross as well, is the Thunderbolts movie. Feige confirms that Bucky will be the de facto leader of the Thunderbolts, which makes sense. Let's see. He also said Spider-Man 4 is coming, which, I mean, duh.
Got me on that one. True. Yeah, Spider-Man 4, Bucky.
Spider-Man 4 is coming because money. Plus, I want to see, like, now I'm intrigued on how Spider-Man's going to exist in a world that has no idea who he is or anything.
Yeah.
Are we going to still play into he's wanting to still be friends with MJ and Ned? That's going to be interesting.
Look, real quickly, real brief, we'll definitely dive into more of this as soon as we get more Spider-Man news in the future and all that. I don't give a flying flip if you think that the Spider-Man, the Peter Parker MJ story needs to be gone now. I don't care. I want her to remember him.
Yeah.
Very badly. Because I need more Zendaya and Tom Holland interaction in the Spider-Man movies. Sorry. If your opinion differs, I don't care. Yeah, sorry about you.
Also, moving on, he said that Kang, who again is going to be basically the Thanos of the rest of the MCU for the foreseeable future, is testing, I guess, with test audiences and opinions and stuff. It's their highest tested villain so far.
Ooh.
Which is great because Thanos is already a household name, as I've said before on multiple shows. Thanos is a household name. Kang is about to be a household name. And people are going to be essentially fearing Kang more than they did Thanos. Interesting.
Like it. I like it.
He said Blade starts filming in about 10 weeks.
Finally.
Yeah, about time. And he also left us saying that we will get an update on Fantastic Four, and that he's saying that Fantastic Four will be a pillar of the MCU once it comes out. Basically, I'm reading that as Doom is going to be a major villain like Kang and Thanos. And, of course, Doom with the direct connection to the Fantastic Four. That's going to make the Fantastic Four also very essential to the future of the MCU.
What we're saying is we'll be shocked if we don't have some really big Fantastic Four stories, and if we don't see Silver Surfer and Galactus at some point as well.
Absolutely. And I didn't have it on here because I wasn't able to find it again, but I saw something somewhere where he was talking about X-Men, especially in regards to like Namor and how much they were pushing Namor being a mutant in Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be doing more of dropping more of the mutants existing in this world before they do a proper introduction to the X-Men. No word if that actually includes anything going on with Deadpool 3, which we know is filming shortly because both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are constantly on Instagram shown working out and building up those muscles ready for that fight. So
From what I saw as well, he was saying that they have had an X-Men plan in the books for a while, and they're now finally being able to act upon it. So he's got some solid X-Men plans already. It's just a matter of time before we know what they are.
Yeah.
Also, Deadpool 3 still going to be rated R.
Yay!
Not changing.
There was what was that? I didn't put it on here, but since we're talking about Deadpool 3 anyways, there was an actress that was signed up for Emma Corrin. She's from The Crown. She has signed on to essentially be a villain, not the villain, but a villain in Deadpool 3. So there might be more than one villain. I believe, and also I see like a lot of people online are saying it, she may be a version of Typhoid Mary, who's had run-ins with Wolverine and Deadpool before. Typically, she usually runs into like Black Widow or Daredevil.
It tracks.
Or there's also the potential of her playing the character of Danger, which, depending on if you're not familiar with the comic books, Danger is a female robot that is basically a sentient version of the X-Men's Danger Room, which we have seen in a couple of the X-Men movies already.
It doesn't track as much, but in a multiversal universe, sure.
Yeah. So that might be interesting. I would like to see the idea of Danger would be cool, but
I also back this statement up. First Mightiest Heroes on Disney Plus, fantastic Avengers cartoon, fantastic.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get on to the main topic. Let's talk about those Superb Owl trailers. So real quick, if y'all didn't follow what we were doing on Sunday, we dropped 2 trailer reactions. That's right. Out of the entire game, we only did 2. We did the reaction to Flash and Guardians Volume 3, which we'll talk about those in a minute. I want to talk about the other ones. Technically, we did do 3. We did do the reaction to Fast X, Fast 10, whatever. But since it came out on Friday, we got to knock it out early, just like everyone else in the world did.
Yep.
I want to talk about like the other ones real quick. Almost all the other ads were either like 30 seconds or a minute long. For those of y'all who might not be familiar with how YouTube works, YouTube algorithm typically does like when you put out a video, like do a pre-recorded video that is at least roughly about 10 minutes long is what most YouTubers seem to favor. From our experience, I would say anything from like 8 to 12 minutes, YouTube absolutely really likes. And you have a greater chance of that being pushed out, especially if you are constantly pumping out content, pre-recorded videos, which is why we have like the podcast that comes out like every other week right now. It's a set pre-recorded video. We're just hoping to give y'all content, but also appeasing the YouTube gods.
The algorithm goes, tasty goodies, tasty.
Yeah. Therefore, the algorithm may shine blessings upon us and help push our trailer reactions even more. Because again, trailer reactions are really the bread and butter for any movie YouTube channel. It's just easy, quick, digestible content that people like. That being said, the amount of work that goes into those and what we get in return when posting those videos, it doesn't make sense on our end from like basically a business standpoint to do a reaction to a 30-second trailer, because it's 30 seconds. You see just like a little bit, and it's probably more like about a 5-minute discussion. So there's not much there, and the amount of work that it takes to go in to quickly edit that and pump it out and get it up on YouTube as fast as possible, just not worth it.
You also got to think about the view time too, in that sense, in which case most people are clicking off right after the reactions are done usually anyway. So it's not going to be those aren't going to be highly viewed videos. No.
So we have gone back and watched it, and some of these, I would say some of them would have lent to some like actual good discussion and reaction. The Indiana Jones like 30-second spot was interesting. There was a lot of like fun bits in there. Him asking Mads Mikkelsen like, refresh my memory, aren't you a Nazi or something like that? And which is weird because he's not playing a character that was previously existing. He wasn't one of the characters from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones just knows who he is.
Yeah, or he is, and we just don't know who he was, essentially.
Sure.
Like, it's one of those, Indiana Jones knows who he is, but the audience doesn't.
Yeah.
So there was stuff like that. Otherwise, like, that Indiana Jones spot did give us a nice shot of the de-aged Indiana Jones, which I thought that looked good.
Yeah. The whole movie looks good. That 30-second spot, I want another like solid trailer for this here pretty soon. I would love to have another solid trailer for this. That big game spot looks good. That actually got me, that 30 seconds got me pretty hyped for the next one, and almost made me completely forget how much I disliked the fourth one.
We also got like a 30-second, I want to say it's a 30-second Porsche commercial that just so happened to have some Transformers in it.
It was a Porsche commercial, yeah.
This is kind of confusing because Transformers is a movie about vehicles that turn into robots, and robots fight each other, go pew pew and shoot each other and whatnot. This is appealing to like kids, teenagers. Why is this a Porsche ad? Like, kids, teenagers, they're not going to go and buy a Porsche.
So this is what we call brand awareness and sponsorship. Porsche is footing a decent bill for the Transformers movie, and therefore is getting highly recognized in its commercial trailer for the big game.
Okay, Garth, Porsche, sure. I can't even afford to say the name properly. Okay, let's just leave it at that.
The word "poor" is in it, so there you go. That's all you get.
Yeah, I got the poor part down. All right.
Yeah, so that's the thing is I can see it being a lot cheaper for both Transformers Rise of the Beasts, whatever, something of the Beasts, and Porsche to be able to combine forces and monies to be able to produce the Super Bowl ad that's apparently $7 million. So it makes more sense if they're like, hey, you want to just split the bill, foot the bill here kind of thing. Yeah, makes sense. So there you go.
Let's see. We also got like a 30-second ad for Creed 3, which is basically...
This is a good ad.
Yeah, it looks good. It's a good hype build, but it's kind of weird because it showed us primarily a lot of stuff that we had already seen, or if it was new stuff, it was stuff that didn't necessarily matter. Like, I know we got more images of them as kids. Cool.
So if I can flip over to the more positive side of this discussion for this one, I would say that what they did with that ad, and I don't know if this is exactly what they were going for, but a lot of that big game spot ad for Creed 3 was a lot of the what I would imagine are bits and pieces that you'll see in the training montage sequence in the movie, where the way it comes across is this is the building up the hype. This is the part that you get before the actual match happens. And that makes sense in this case because the movie's about to come out here pretty soon. So this is kind of the hype up you get before that match happens.
One of the things I did like about it though is like a lot of the scenes. So they had like the Roman numerals of like 3, and you saw the clips within the Roman numerals. That is very, very similar to the beginning of the Rocky movies, where like the word Rocky would go across the screen, and it may do flashbacks to the previous movies to catch your audience up as to what happened before, so you know where the direction of this movie is. Very reminiscent of that. So I like that little touch, that little detail that they did with it. It's also kind of weird that we just got like another full trailer like days later. So I don't know, kind of weird. Dungeons and Dragons, we got a small like 30-second trailer for that. I mean, really didn't do anything more than what I already saw from Dungeons and Dragons. Again, neither one of us are big D&D fans or like medieval fantasy. So really, I don't think it did anything more. It didn't like ruin how the movie may be if I do eventually see it.
It truly just felt like a reminder that the movie is coming out. Like, hey, just so y'all know, this movie is happening. Come watch it. Get your tickets.
I know we got people that do follow us that are really upset that we're not big D&D fans. I'm sorry, but
we're still gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, well, probably.
Yep. We're still gonna watch the movie, and here's the thing: I'm hoping it's fantastic.
Yeah. We got a quick spot for 65 as well, which still looks interesting. The thing I like about 65 is I think that's really, I can't remember if it's actually based off of a book or anything, but otherwise it looks like it's probably the only movie that's not like a previously known IP that got an ad during the big game, which is weird. You don't see that. Everything else is something that is either a sequel based off a comic, based off of, like in the case of Air, based off of a real life event. 65, I believe, is just its own thing.
They're rightfully trying to hype it up because honestly, sending Adam Driver back to the past to face down dinosaurs just sounds like a fun time. And it looks like a fun time. This is going to be everything that I hoped a Jurassic Park sequel could be.
Jurassic Park mixed with like Planet of the Apes. It looks interesting.
It's a fascinating concept. I know Adam Driver he's just a solidly reliable actor. Even if you don't like the movie he's in, you like his performance. He's that kind of actor. So I'm
Fucking Wingblade.
Marriage Story Jurassic Park is the crossover we've been waiting for. I hope he punches a hole in a dinosaur.
Punch a hole in a dinosaur.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm very much interested in this movie.
Yeah. And then let's see. There was a 1 minute commercial for Scream 6. Which most of that minute just looked like it was just like one particular scene where Ghostface is attacking a bunch of people that are all centrally located in an apartment, and we see them like trying to quickly escape the apartment to get away from Ghostface. A couple other like tidbits here and there. So I do like how that looks. It's building up hype. Since I'm talking about Scream 6, I will also take this opportunity to warn everybody online, like all 5 people watching us right now. If you are interested in seeing Scream 6, be very careful. Some dipshit out there has released, I guess it's a video or something that reveals a killer. If there's more than one killer, I don't know, but it reveals at least one person who is a Ghostface in that movie.
A very major spoiler.
Yeah, I mean the whole fun of the Scream movies is a whodunit, kind of like when we were talking about whodunits on our podcast. I was talking about Scream because that's one of the fun things about that movie is trying to figure out of the entire cast of characters who is Ghostface.
Yeah.
So be careful when looking up Scream 6 things. You might need to mute Scream 6 for a little while.
Yeah, might recommend muting Scream 6, Scream Roman numeral 6, Ghostface. Like, these are multiple things that I would recommend muting on Twitter so they just don't come up anymore for you.
Yeah. So yeah, otherwise it looks interesting. Again, I've said it before, like, I don't know why we're still doing the Scream movies, but I mean, the last one wasn't bad. I just didn't find it necessary. This one does look interesting because we're out of Woodsboro in New York, so nice little change of pace there, even though I know Scream 2 took place at a college and not at Woodsboro either, but whatever. We got the trailer for Air. And I think, didn't we get that like a couple of days before the game as well?
Yeah.
And that was another one, like I would have loved to have done a reaction to it. Just unfortunately, we didn't have the ability, the time. When
I freaking didn't even realize it came out until like I was going to bed that night. And I was like, why did nobody tell me this trailer existed? Why was nobody sharing this? I didn't see anyone sharing the trailer on Twitter. I didn't see anything about this until like 20 hours later. I was like, the heck, this trailer came out? What the...
Yeah, it looks good. Like, I'm super excited for it just because, yeah, as Garth is saying, Affleck and Damon sold. Yeah, Affleck, Damon, Viola Davis is Michael Jordan's mom. I believe you've also got like Chris Tucker and Marlon Wayans in that.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, there's a good cast, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Next we've got. Okay, so before we talk about the other ones, the other major one that I was really excited about was that 30-second commercial for Super Mario Brothers. It was a 30-second, like essentially it was a plumbing commercial, a plumbing ad.
It was great.
Yeah. They didn't really advertise the movie. They just made it as if these two actually were plumbers that you could call and hire their services. They did like a full ad complete with like a website and a phone number that you could call. I know Late to the Party actually did a reaction to it where they called it, and all the messages you hear Charlie Day as Luigi saying, like, if you want to leave, I can't remember if you want to leave a message or you should text message us.
It's their services and what they do as a company and everything. It's actually fantastically done, especially with the cheeky little Luigi's Mansion kind of reference in the middle there.
Yeah. So that being said, I do see we got a Streamlabs from Garth that was saying, talking about the Super Mario ad that had the old TV show rap. So it used the theme song to the old Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which was fantastic touch. Late to the Party and apparently Real Rejects did call the number in the ad. I'm not going to call the number right now because I have heard what it is, and it's just Luigi saying to send a text message in. But it's great marketing. I absolutely love when movies do that kind of marketing. This viral marketing to get it in, and I just love when they do that. Just it's a way for the audience to interact and connect with that movie even more. So yeah, I thought that was very well done. I love that little commercial bit was really good. Again, if I had like some foresight ahead of time, we could have potentially done that as well, but just didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that Guardians trailer. We did a trailer reaction to it. It looks good. It just shows us more of like what we had already seen in the previous Guardians trailer, kind of like what we said in the reaction. It gave us more of the high evolutionary. I feel like it gave us a little bit more as far as the emotional beats of Rocket. And then also some really good stuff as far as like the actual humor, specifically humor between Star-Lord and Nebula.
Yeah. Yeah, the little bit at the end was really funny.
Yeah, I like that trailer. I thought it was a really well done trailer. The music, of course, is phenomenal.
So we get some like good stuff in there, including just the full on bringing Gamora back, because we knew like a big part of the movie was going to be finding Gamora. It was something to be noted after Endgame. You know, at the end of Endgame, Star-Lord was like, all right, kind of our main objective now is to go find Gamora, essentially, see where she ran off to, because we have the new Gamora essentially from 2014 traveled to the present timeline. So that's going to be interesting to see kind of how he uses his pelvic sorcery to woo her again, more or less. And then I love that little bit in the trailer with between him and Nebula, and you actually get like the first time we've seen Nebula actually laugh, so to speak. That's hilarious. Yeah, Adam Warlock facing off against Drax. I'm really curious to see what they do with Adam Warlock, because as of right now, they're not leaning too much on him in the trailers in terms of him having like a major presence, but you have to expect that he will, because he's a character that is worth having a major presence going into the future of the MCU. I'm just like picturing him kind of involved and intertwined into this Kang storyline that's going on too, and what all that might entail as well. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I really liked that trailer. I thought they did good with that.
Well said.
About that. I want to talk about that Batman trailer though. That Batman trailer, good.
That Batman movie featuring the Flash looks fantastic.
The Flash trailer. Man, this is such a weird trailer.
Yeah.
Because again, internet discourse, there's a lot of people like, I'm not watching that. Like, no matter how good it is that you put Michael Keaton back in like the 89 Batman costume, people are not going to go see this movie because of Ezra Miller.
It's fair.
And
I think it's completely fair for people to do that.
I'm not a huge fan of going to see this because of Ezra Miller either. Like, if I had like a preference, if we had any kind of like actual control, and I know this could potentially sound a little bit bad, but hopefully it's not. I would like it if like Warner Brothers, DC, if they had the ability, just don't pay Ezra Miller. Give Ezra Miller's money to everybody else. Ezra Miller is about to kill that movie.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's generally speaking unethical.
Leaving aside that. Yeah,
leaving aside what they said. Well, look, you introduce it as a conversation piece. Here you go.
But
you can't do that because generally speaking, that's very unethical.
But at the same time, you've got people that are publicly saying that they're not going to go see this movie, so nobody is getting their money because of Ezra Miller's involvement. So
yeah. So here's the thing. The movie's going to make a ton of money in the box office. It's a Twitter vocal minority who are not going to go see the movie.
Actually, I like this. That's how I would like to see that. If there's some kind of confirmation that could happen.
That's that's one way to rebuild your reputation if that's something that they're interested in doing. But
that sounds like lawyers and a PR person need to be getting together and brainstorming. But
there's a lot that Ezra needs to do in order to gain public trust again in literally them as a whole. But yeah, this movie's gonna make a ton of money. It's gonna make a ton of money. There's a small amount of people who are on Twitter very vocally stating that they don't want to go see it. And honestly, like my personal belief is they have full rights to do that. I'm not going to fault someone. I'm not going to say someone's dumb. I'm not going to stand in judgment to somebody who doesn't want to go see the movie because of that. Completely get it. At the same time, I'm still somebody who is of the belief that movies are a collaborative effort. And there's a lot of other actors, set people, director, producer, just generally people who are part of the production. There's so many other people that come together to work on a movie. I really hate essentially punishing those people for the actions of one individual who's a part of the production. So in my mind, I would rather reward everybody else for their hard work than deny them that, because Ezra Miller was dumb for a while, you know?
And that's the thing. I'm still not a fan. Even before Ezra Miller got involved with legal stuff, I'm still not a fan of them playing Flash.
Yeah.
That's bad casting, just in general, regardless of anything that they did in public in their real life. That's just bad casting. Ezra Miller doesn't look like any person that should be Flash. But this trailer looks good. And I will admit, the interactions that Ezra Miller has with themselves, or if I can make it simplify it, the interactions Barry Allen has with himself in the trailer, it works. It's really actually pretty interesting. So I'm curious as to how they're going to go. Of course, the trailer confirms that this is going to be borrowing heavily from the Flashpoint storyline, which there is the comic is a massive successful storyline. There's also an animated cartoon that is also very well done. So there's a couple of places if you want to catch up on it, exactly what that story is. But I like the idea that, kind of like what we've said before, we know this is going to reset the DC universe, change it from the DCEU to the DCU.
Which it's one of the reasons why they couldn't just haul off and just cancel the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's got a pivotal storyline in terms of what they want to do going into the future. And on top of that, it's like Garth said in the chat there that there's just been so much high praise for the movie in test audiences and whatnot that it's generally expected to be good and to make a lot of money. So I can see it. I can see it from watching the trailer. This seems like based on the way the movie looks from the trailer, it seems like a solid movie to be able to just kind of wrap up the story as it's been presented so far in the DCEU, and then do that as a transition piece to the DCU. You're getting Man of Steel in there. You're getting Ben Affleck's Batman. You got Batman 89 in a kind of a multiversal type way. We've got a Supergirl in there. As much as I would love to see like Henry Cavill also kind of make another appearance here. I know it was reported apparently that him and Wonder Woman were supposed to have shots, but they were nixed from the final movie. Either way, I think Sasha Calle looks fantastic as Supergirl. I think she's going to do a fantastic job based on what they've presented to us so far. Either way, no matter what, the movie looks good. Whether you feel like it should be good or should look good or whatever, it looks good. So, yeah. I'm expecting good things.
Yeah, I'm hoping it turns out to be really good. Reset everything, point the future of the DC movies in the correct direction, and then we all sit here and wonder what the hell is Aquaman 2 gonna do? Good luck, Aquaman 2. You've got a problematic person in your movie also, so have fun.
Yeah.
You got a problematic person in a storyline that could potentially essentially go nowhere. So good luck.
Hence why James Gunn is here to you didn't see anything.
The only other thing I will say about Flash that I'm interested in is the fact that it's directed by Andy Muschietti.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who directed the recent remakes of It Chapter 2, which the first It that he did was really good. I really enjoyed it. Chapter 2, not so much. It was a little weird. But I kind of got like his tone and vibe just watching those two movies, and it's going to be nice to see that applied to the DC universe, to the world of Flash, and especially again taking on a massive story like Flashpoint. It's gonna be interesting to watch, and yeah, I know a lot of that you couldn't get off of just the trailer. I'm super hyped for that just because of that reason alone. So
yeah, yep, looks good.
Anyways.
We'll see. I mean, it comes out this year, so we're finally getting this movie, even though I'm pretty sure we were supposed to get it like 5 years ago.
Yeah. We really didn't talk too much about that Fast X trailer here.
They didn't really show anything else other than apparently there's a big explosion at the Hoover Dam that Dom is driving down the Hoover Dam away from. That's like the only other scene that wasn't in the prior trailer.
Yeah.
So there's your big stunt.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, that I do feel like that Fast X trailer, it looks a little bit more interesting than F9, but not by much. Again, my candle is starting to just like pitter out as far as caring about the Fast and Furious movies.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap up the franchise.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for movie news. So, real quick, let's do some recaps. Yeah, Fast X sounds like an antacid.
It does sound like an antacid.
Did you have the eggplant Muschietti at the Olive Garden? Take Fast X. Thank you, Garth.
Now in fruit flavors.
Dum-to-dum-tums. So recapping real quick, there is the Cinefanatics podcast that is up us talking about rom-com movies, because again, who else would you turn to talk about rom-com movies besides two single guys? Okay. Anyways, this Friday, we will be doing the marquee tier ranking some rom-com movies. Again, if you're a part of our Patreon, even if you're at the $1 tier, you have access to the Discord, which we have the entire list of what rom-coms we're tier ranking up there and available. So if you want to catch up on some of those movies yourself so you can formulate an opinion, since your opinion will be needed if you are live in the chat. So be prepared to vote on the marquee as well. Catch up on some of those movies and join us live this Friday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, right here on this channel. Coming up right after this tagline, actually here in about like 20-30 minutes or so, we will be going into our Discord to be doing a watch along of Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, if you're at the $5 due tier or higher, you could join us shortly over there for that. That should be fun because that's a lot. That's a fun movie. I just love that movie. So we'll talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll watch that. It'll be a good time. Next Wednesday, after the tagline, we will be doing our movie trivia hangout. I believe we will have a visitor that's hanging out with us for that during that time. So please join us next Wednesday. That one you need to be on our Maverick tier to join us for, but we have a lot of fun with those, or at least I do. I can't speak for everyone. I'm hoping everyone has fun because no one's canceled their subscription yet. So I'm going to guess by context clues, everyone's enjoying that.
I canceled my subscription.
Oh, well, you should. You're the one getting paid for it. That would be weird. Oh. Chris over here running a money laundering business on his side of the
That's right. I give myself $25 a month.
Drinking game for the marquee. Take a drink every time Chris and Robert bring up their ex-girlfriends. Well, one of us will be very sober. Take a guess who. Anyways,
Lola.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, so yeah, trivia hangout next Wednesday. Hop on the Maverick tier over on patreon.com/cinefanatics if you want to join us for that. That should be a lot of fun. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CinefanaticsMLP. Again, we'll be doing the what was it, MODOK? We were going to do a review for Ant-Man. Thank you, MODOK. Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania. That was a stupid joke. I'm my own worst critic at these.
We're doing a review for Ant-Man tomorrow
night. So make sure you follow us for that. We'll let y'all know on social media when that pops up. Make sure you like this video, even though if you don't like it, just like it anyways. That would be cool. We like that. Comment below if you're watching this on a replay. What did you think of the movie news? What comments, stuff do you have to add? And also subscribe to the Cinefanatics here. You could follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, and youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
You can also follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP.
Cool. Anyways, that's going to do it for the episode tonight, y'all. Thank y'all for being here live. Thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all. We'll see probably some of y'all here in a few minutes. But otherwise, we'll see y'all on the marquee this Friday. Good night.
Bye.